listening to Downworlder Dish, a Shadowhunter Chronicles podcast. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 48, where we will be discussing chapter 11 in City of Glass, All the Hosts of Hell. I'm Kristen.
I'm Robin.
And I'm Amanda.
Woo woo.
That was very Love it.
I'm feeling fancy. Hello, ladies.
Hi.
Hello.
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 So, how's everybody's Christmas decorations going? I know Robin's done.
I'm done.
Yeah. My tree is empty from toddler height down. Because he just keeps taking them off and putting them back on.
I love it.
Yeah.
I will be done this weekend, so we will post pictures on Tuesday. We promised them we would post pictures of our tree. So when this releases, go to our Instagram. There will be pictures of our Christmas trees. And whether you celebrate Christmas or Kwanzaa or Hanukkah, which when this releases, it'll be the 7th night of Hanukkah, or, Yule or whatever you...
Or nothing.
And you just want to send us a picture of your cat or something. Tag us. We want to see them, please.
Yes. Oh, I hope someone did a Shadowhunter tree,
Dude,
like we talked about.
I know. I thought about it, but then I got, I don't know, what's the word? Transfixed by
Caught up.
by other things, and I wanted to do something else.
Oh, we're excited to see it. Okay, so you told us on Instagram about some Clace info dropping, and I didn't go look because I was afraid it was spoilery, and I forgot to ask if I should or not. So, do you know what it is?
Yeah,
Tell us everything.
So, we posted on IG, Cassandra Clare's, her official newsletter, if you are a member of her newsletter, last week, she dropped 60 pages of bonus Clace material. So they're scenes, from Jace's point of view, the Sealy Court scene, but from Jace's point of view, or the scene that we just did, the Guilty Blood, the manor house scene from City of Glass.
Yes,
but in his point of view. So I'm trying to savor it because, of course, I signed up and I have it, But
so did it get emailed to you? How did you get it?
So you get emailed a link. You confirm your email, and then you get it sent through BookFunnel. And so I'm going through, but I'm taking my time because I don't want it to be over. I'm really excited.
Yeah.
So the first I think 5 or so excerpts or stories or whatever, those would be fine for you, Amanda, but the other ones you have to wait until you get through. Yeah.
Heavenly Fighter.
Until you get through. Yeah, I'll have to double check because some of them you need to wait until after the Dark Artifices series.
Oh, wow. See, this is why I didn't go look, because I figured I wouldn't be able to. Okay.
But I'm really excited. They're really fun. It's nice to get inside of Jace's head. I mean, he's exactly as broody and, mopey in his head as you would think he would be in those scenes.
It's got to be fun to have everything kind of completed with, I'm assuming Jace's story is kind of completed just because there's so many books left still that I need to read. And to go back and then do that, knowing everything that happens in his future and just all this stuff, that's got to be fun to go back and write that for her.
Yeah, and when she called it, we Jace you we Jace you a Clary Christmas. Yeah,
that's great.
And then Magnus's birthday was when this is released last week.
Oh yeah, his birthday. Because we don't know which one.
I love that we got a message. One of the listeners slid into our DMs and was saying that they're really glad that we had that conversation about Magnus's age, because it's so contested, I guess, because of the changes and stuff that have been made. So I'm like, finally, I feel vindicated that like other people are like, nay.
It's like the Maya's age thing.
Yeah. Well, and then a listener sent us the information about it being Magnus's birthday also. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you know when people's birthdays are?
From like Twitter, from Cassandra Clare or something. Like she'll say it like once, and then you'll know, or you know, those little like nuggets of like technically, like I don't know what. Okay, what's your guys' opinion? Is anything that Cassie says canon, or is it only the stuff that's in the published materials?
Well, I would think she would want to make it all the same, but I would think anything she says is what she intended.
That's the way I see it too. And like some people aren't like it became kind of one of those like question marks with J.K. Rowling and everything, and how, because she was so active on social media and stuff, and she would drop things and like say certain things or answer questions, and then it got very complicated because like some of her answers were like, what? Like you didn't think that through. Like
okay.
So a lot of people would contest and say, it's not actually canon if it's not in the published works or whatever. But by that sentiment, then you would have to count the Cursed Child as canon, and that's also highly contested.
I think the main difference there is Cassandra Clare is still coming out with new material. And she's able to shape and mold those characters still, at least most of them. So it's not
like she's not like coming out like 10 years later after the last thing has been printed and being like, oh, let me drop this and change the whole context of everything. Like pretty much everything that Cassie comes out and says about the characters are in line, and like they still feel like, okay, that makes sense. Right. And she doesn't really do a whole lot of like dropping like crazy mind-boggling stuff. It's just like little nuggets.
Well, and I think, like I said, you're still able to it's still able to be in written work, I guess is what I'm saying. Like she's still able to mold and shape that world where it's kind of like the chapters closed on Harry Potter.
Right.
Like you can get you could get new stuff, and then of course they're going like with the movies, they're going back, but it's kind of like their stories are done. It's hard to like, back when that happened in that book, this is what was really happening. Like it seems kind of like
right.
Yeah, so that's kind of what my question was going to be, like how far back. So if there's another edition that's to be made, is it usually because they're still writing in the series sort of and things change, or is that something like J.K. Rowling might go back someday and change an edition just because she wanted to?
Generally changes in like editions only happen like when there's like a typo or something that needs to be fixed. It's usually not to change anything plot wise or anything to make it's more like, oh, here's this like plot hole that it's a small one that we need to kind of stitch up, so we're going to change a couple of wordings in this sentence to like make it make better sense or something like that. But editions are also based on like the round of like printed materials, and like, you know, so if it's like 5th edition of something, then it's like, they make a couple of changes and then they like release it and have that. So
I don't know. I think that City of Bones has
I don't know how it all works
of revisions. The Mortal Instruments.
Yeah.
But I think it's one of those things where it's like I'm pretty sure I remember reading, obviously you guys will correct me if I'm wrong, that she had originally planned it to just be the 3 books, right?
Exactly.
So then it was like when you write it and just thinking, okay, this is going to be the story, this is done. You have certain, you know, you've done your storyboard or whatever. Then you go back and like, you know what, their story's not over. This universe isn't over. This world isn't over. So then, you know, you have to kind of go back and tweak some stuff like we were talking about in that the first one where they explain the difference on why Isabel can't cook. Like that's a big, you know.
Right.
It's a big thing to change, but it was very like
good point.
It didn't make a big impact because I was just like, okay, yeah, whatever, move on. especially reading it, you know, but it's like a big, like, okay, we got it. Or how old Maya is, obviously.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, especially.
You're not really going to notice it unless you're writing a podcast about it.
Exactly. But especially the thing with Izzy, I mean, that's a really great point to point out, because it wasn't anything that was specifically, like, affecting the plot, right? It didn't change, like, the motives of everybody around, but it was an important thing to change just because it contradicts the history that she was putting into the infernal devices when she decided, oh no, I'm gonna write that. So yeah, it's like things like that where it doesn't like change who the villain is or the big reveal or anything, but it's important in terms of like world building.
And definitely connecting people to characters. I mean, you don't want there to be this big issue with somebody. Yeah, that makes sense. Interesting.
Very nice.
Because Robin, you're not quite done right yet either.
I finished the Dark Artifices.
With the Dark Artifices?
I am going back to currently reading Ghost of the Shadow Market.
Oh yeah.
Along with obviously City of Glass. So I was just having a hard time because, again, the way my brain is, I have the Audible version, and there's a lot of different characters, and my brain has a hard time fleshing them out when I can't physically touch a book. So it's almost like I'd like to read the first couple chapters of the actual book, and then I'm fine listening to the Audible version.
Right.
So I just need to find time to shuffle it in, because I know once I do that, it'll literally consume every waking moment of my life.
Dude, Jason is like a third of the way through Chain of Gold. And I'm like, it's the last one. Like, you don't have anything to read.
But Iron's coming out soon, right?
In March.
Oh my gosh, that's far away. Well, what about the TV show? Has he done that yet?
We haven't heard anything.
I mean...
Oh, the TV show.
No, the old one.
I don't...
Yeah. I mean, it's not great, but it's something.
We'll see if I can convince him to watch it or not. I don't know. He might hate watch it with me.
Yeah.
But I'm really excited because he comes home from work, because he listens on his commute. So he comes home from work and he's like, okay, so this is what happened. And then he's like, but blah, 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 blah. And he'll make predictions. And most of the time, they're like outrageously not even close. But sometimes he'll get it like on the money, and I have to like try to like put a poker face on and be like, I don't know what you're talking about. You know?
Well, it's good that most of the time he's wrong, so that you don't give it away every time. That's great. Awesome.
Good times. All right, folks. What do you say we cut the chit chat and kick things off with Robin's recap?
Previously on Downworlder Dish.
The Lightwood siblings are getting a sneaking suspicion that Jace isn't really out for a walk, considering he should be back in less time than, I don't know, like 6 hours. For some reason, they get the feeling that maybe, just maybe, he's with Clary. Max tries to tell the class that he saw someone climbing on the demon towers, but no one believes him because that's cray-cray. He's sent to bed, and shortly after, Aline is shadow-napped by a demon smashing through the window. Isabel jumps into action, taking off after her and saving her at the last moment. Aline decides to GTFO and runs off. Isabel returns back and Alec goes to search for Aline. While Izzy is upstairs arming herself, Sebastian is busy working on his diabolical plot, which soon comes to fruition when he attacks Max and Isabel. Meanwhile, Alec is out on the town looking for Aline, but gets sidetracked when he sees a sexy, sexy warlock.
Ooh.
To be fair, I would too.
See in blue.
I'd be like, ah, shit, are those blue sparks?
What are you doing, kiddo? Who is he?
Oh my god. We unpause Clary and Jace from their chapter-long timeout for being too sexy and gaze out on the scene of a burning glass city. The demon towers have gone dark, the gate is open, and smoke is billowing into the sky. And yet Clary is still asking, really? You think this was Valentine? Our father? Are you sure? Laugh out loud. Laugh out loud. LOL. Fuck. Come on, girl. Like, I know that Clary's dumb, but like...
This is too much.
Trauma doesn't suit her.
She just fluctuates from being like really perceptive and really smart to like stupid.
Yeah.
And I'm like, can we...
Put
I
a
guess
lid on
that's
it.
teenagers, right?
Yeah.
Their frontal lobe isn't all the way
Developed,
yeah. Jace activates Terminator mode, and Clary's mind instantly goes to Simon instantly goes to Simon stuck in the dungeons of the guard. Jace assures her that the Clave would have already evacuated the guard, and besides, demons tend to leave Downworlders alone. What? This is the first we've ever heard of this. Do you... have you ever considered how demons and Downworlders interacted in the world?
No. And how does Jace know that they would have evacuated? This has never happened before, bro.
Right.
You're 17. You don't know shit.
Right. He's just... Well, I mean, he's obviously just saying it to make her feel better.
Right, of course. Yeah.
I guess I just meant he doesn't know shit because, he hasn't been around long enough.
Well, and then this has never, like you said, this never happened before. There's not like a fire drill, I don't think.
Right, exactly. They don't practice this because they didn't believe it was ever going to happen. And yeah, I don't know about the whole demon and Downworlder thing because those demons attacked Luke and Maya.
Yeah,
no problems.
Well, they were sent by V-Tang.
I guess that's a good point.
But still.
I would just assume that demons would attack whatever is living.
Do they attack other demons?
Maybe.
Probably.
Like, no, I sense you're a demon. You smell like shit. I'm going to go on.
Technically, yes, because remember, Maya told us that lycanthropy and vampirism, those specific demon diseases come from two different tribes of demons that were at war with each other. Okay. And so that was what she used as her explanation why vampires and werewolves don't get along.
Right. It's embedded in their DNA.
Right. Which is totally bullshit.
Dana.
Wow.
It's from that one with Judy Hopps, the bunny.
Oh, right.
Zootopia.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep. It's in your dinner. The fox says it. Anyway.
God. So this happens so often that I've developed a mathematical equation to simplify
This is great.
what goes on next. Clary plus Jace plus impending danger equals Jace wanting Clary to stay where it's safe with a remainder of Clary refusing.
It's beautiful.
It's basically what it is.
Yep. No whole numbers here.
No. So before the pissing match could kick into second gear, Jace feels a disturbance in the force. It's a stampede of person wolves. Do you know how long it took me to figure out the plurality of person/wolf?
Yeah. Yeah, I think you did a good job.
Yeah.
Yeah, person wolves.
I was like, persons wolves? No. Is it like attorneys general? I don't. It took me too long.
Well, and obviously Microsoft isn't going to freaking help you. I haven't even read the Mortal Instruments.
Seriously. It's trying to correct me all the time, dude. Stop. Clip art. What was it? What did we say last week? Paperclip, get out of here.
Yeah.
Pack your bags.
So even Jace, the best shadow hunter of his age, couldn't outrun a pack of wolves. With no time to do anything else, Jace practices the pose for his memorial statue. Pulling Clary to his side, he plants his feet and raises a glowing seraph blade to the sky. And the wolves just go around them. Honestly, it's very anticlimactic.
Yeah. It reminds me of on the Croods when Guy holds up the fire and the birds just go around. Yep.
So apparently an open field, stunned, Clary and Jace watch as the wolves head towards the city. They're like, not even bothering. They're like, no, we don't have time for you. Mm-hmm. We've got shit to do, places to be. Apparently an open field is not a safe place to leave Clary while Jace goes to save the world, so he changes his mind and decides to let her tag along on this epic adventure to save humanity, as long as she promises to be careful. Solid plan, Morgenstern. Solid plan.
Totally. She keeps her promises.
Uh-huh. When the super siblings get to the gate, they notice one of the guards, pieces of him at least, in the tree. Shit is cray, but there's still time for Jace to pause and tell Clary she's holding her seraph blade wrong.
Oh, see?
Right? Passing through the gate, they're met with a gruesome scene. Bodies in the street, demons in the shadows. I think it's fair to say the shitteth hitteth the fanneth.
Love it.
Our duo come across a line of destroyed storefronts, one of them a sweet shop that is currently occupied by a behemoth demon. Yowza. So, what is a behemoth demon? Well, I'm glad you asked. In this confrontation, we find out that a behemoth demon can be semi-corporeal, which this one is, meaning he's only half in this dimension and is super duper hard to vanquish. They're blind and look like a slug with teeth.
Ew.
Real gross. They have the ability to blink in and out of existence, moving from one place to the other in no time at all. And then I marked the spot in the codex where it talks about behemoth demons.
Did you mark it with an X?
No.
Oh. Okay.
Sorry.
Whatever.
So I shall read from the codex. The behemoth is a formless monstrosity of a demon. It is roughly oblong and could be described as slug-like in its movements, but with less coherence of shape. It is large, much larger than a human, and slimy. Double rows of teeth line the length of its body. The behemoth devours everything in its path, including people. Gross.
Yeah.
And there's a little picture of it that we'll put up on Instagram. On the Insta. So, in summary, they're not easy to kill. Jace orders Clary to get behind him and goes on the offensive, lashing out at the blob-like demon. He lands the blow, but the gelatinous body of the demon just reforms. Oh. He attacks again, but this time the ooze of the ichor causes the Seraph Blade to die like a flashlight with old batteries.
That's crazy that can happen.
Uh-huh.
Weaponless. Well, I guess that's when it needs to go to the Iron Sisters to get recharged.
Recycling.
Yeah. Weaponless, Jace is well and truly screwed. But don't worry, Clary, I think I'm invincible Fairchild, is there to save the day. Our little biscuit flings herself in front of Jace, stabbing the behemoth. Again, it shudders and reforms, but this time slower. If they keep cutting away at the thing, eventually it won't be able to reform. Just one problem. They're gonna need more weapons. As if on cue, a giant person/wolf comes bounding towards them, launching into the air, headed straight for Clary. Oh no! Clary jumps out of the way, and the person/wolf tackles the behemoth demon, knocking it to the ground before tearing it to shreds. 10 points to Gryffindor.
Woohoo, nerds.
Mm-hmm.
You're the nerd.
You have a button. It's not my fault. It's not in front of you.
Kids were playing with it.
Oh yeah, we had to put it away.
Yeah.
Okay, so this stranger/wolf came in and saved the day.
Jesus.
Tearing the behemoth demon completely apart. And by the way, this demon reminds me of the jelly guy from Hotel Transylvania.
Yeah.
Yeah. Except he was a lot more fun.
It was whimsical.
Yeah. So the wolf turns to look at Jace and Clary, and this obviously makes Jace pull another weapon.
Okay, I had to put something in your section.
Yeah.
Because, okay, so Jace pulls out another blade from his belt, but one that he apparently couldn't have used while he was fighting the demon himself. Like, he moves faster than any other Shadowhunter we've ever met and can jump like 60 feet up out of a Malachi configuration. Never mind gracefully landing from a 6-story fall. Like, what?
Yeah.
Why did Clary have to jump in and save him? Why couldn't he just pulled a new weapon out of his belt if he had weapons in his belt?
Truth.
Preach.
Ooh. I agree with you.
Okay, I have another sidebar that I just do it. Okay, so Malachi is the name of the console, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's also the name of the configuration that Jace was put in by the previous Inquisitor. Do you think it's named after him?
I don't.
Do you think he created it?
Maybe he was named after it because his parents did it inside of one. Oh, did I go too far?
Maybe since nobody likes a Malachi configuration, they didn't like their son, so they named it after
I don't
him.
blame him. He seems like a dick. They knew he was a baby, and they were like, he's going to be a dick.
He shall be named Malachi. I think Malachi is an old, annoying Shadowhunter name. Like, everybody's Jonathan.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's fair. Anyway.
All right. Well,
sorry.
That's cool. So the person /wolf, stranger /wolf, if you will, comes towards them, and Clary is, and Jace tries to pull out his weapon, and Clary's like, bro, literally, this wolf is clearly on our side. It just tried to save us. So she tells Jace to put the blade away and asks the wolf, who are you? I'm like, yeah, totally, Clary. You know every person /wolf. Way to go. You stupid idiot. Well, turns out I was wrong.
Amanda's eating crow for dinner.
Because she does know this particular person /wolf. Because when it turns into a person /person, it's Maya. And Maya's like, yes, girl, it's me. Saving your dumb human asses. Okay?
What?
So Clary is like, I appreciate the help and all, but what the fuck are you doing here? So Maya tells her about Luke, how he went to go get help from everyone that he could think of and bring them back to Idris. And so I have to point out, she says that some of the packs flew to the border and traveled, and some of them were portaled into the forest. And that's really vague, and I want to know, how did they travel? By bus, by foot, by boat, by...
Horde.
Paws.
Yeah.
I think they traveled by paws.
By their paws.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah.
they ran. So by foot.
But also... So they flew. They flew to what, France?
Right, exactly.
So whose credit card are they using?
That's
do they have
what
like
I'm
petty
saying.
cash?
Yeah. And then they took a boat. Like, what did they do?
They've got a savings account for the pack. What is happening?
They're using the
Frequent
Chinese
flyer
food money.
miles.
Yeah.
That's a lot of delivery tips.
Maybe there is a pilot that is a person /wolf.
Ooh,
So
maybe.
he's like, we'll just use my... Wait, he'd probably have to get permission on like monies. Anyway, I don't know. There's a hole there. I want to know. So Jace mentions that the Clave must not know about the pack. Or I guess it's more than just the pack, but all the Downworlders coming because they wouldn't have likely accepted help from all the Downworlders. And Maya's like, what was that? Excuse me? We're trying to help you. So she starts to like wolf up. And Clary shut that shit down. And she's like, again, we both appreciate and thank you. Clary is actually the adult in this moment and reminds both of them of the larger situation at hand and that they need to find the Lightwoods and Luke.
Duh.
Yeah, finally she steps up. So Maya says that she saw Alec at the Accords Hall with Magnus, and they determine that must be where everyone else is gathering because Jace, as Jace points out, it's warded, so it's a good idea to go there, which seems like it would be pretty easy for Valentine and or his peeps to break through these wards too, but I don't know. I don't know why they wouldn't go to the trouble of breaking those wards also. It's just weird, but okay.
Right.
So Clary recognizes the Accords Hall. So we get to the Accords Hall, and she recognizes it as soon as she gets there as the place that she had dreamed about, when she was at the ball with Simon and Jace. The place she tried to portal to instead of a murderous lake.
Great. Whoopsies.
Yeah, but it was not quite as grand as it was in her dreams. And she kind of describes it as almost being dilapidated, like it was run down and everything was kind of tarnished and stuff. And I'm just thinking, I wonder if there's like a warlock that comes by like once a week that can just like tidy things up. So
Come clean.
yeah, come clean this. That would be super cool to never have to clean, by the way. Dude. For real. So Shadowhunters filled the room, obviously looking for their loved ones in the crowd. Clary notices how oddly quiet it is, even though with all those people there and all that chaos, and none of the children are crying.
Dude.
Yeah. So I know in this life, I would, it's going to be terrifying. And as a child, I would think it's still going to be scary. I mean, Max was super afraid when Izzy got back to the Penhollow house. Izzy and Alec. So it seems weird to me that none of the kids seem emotional. I don't know. Mm-hmm. I would just be torn to pieces, but whatever. I guess maybe they were sheltered and they didn't see most of the demons. Maybe the parents got there and in between, so they didn't see anything somehow. Like, there's dead bodies and stuff.
Yeah, it's weird.
Did the kids not see that? I don't know.
Or it's one of those things like it's so scary and freaky that they're just like...
Yeah.
In shock.
Yeah.
In shock,
like
yeah.
Isabel was a little bit ago. Well, Maya found her pack and told Clary that Luke must be around there somewhere. And Alec comes rushing up as soon as he saw Jace, and he's a little TO'd because he's like, Jace, I thought you went for a walk 6 hours ago. So they jokey banter back and forth and then bicker. And Jace asks about everyone else. And Alec explains that Isabel and Max are at the Penhollows house with Sebastian. And Maris and Robert are on their way to go get them. Aline is somewhere in the building, but she's having a hard time after her encounter with a demon earlier. So at least she's safe, right?
Right.
Or at least we think this is safe. I don't know. So Clary asks if anyone has seen Simon, and Alec assures her that since he hasn't seen Quizzy 2 times nor the console, Solomon. Anyway, he hasn't seen the console or Quizster, so Simon must be with them. So just then Clary sees Luke, and she runs to him, and they tightly embrace for a long moment. And dude, this has got to be so nice to finally see him after all that she's been through in the last few days, because he basically just kind of like left her there, didn't even like Dear John her.
He pieced out,
Yeah. So this reminds me of the time my daughter was sick, and I may have told you guys this story before, but pajama day at school, she wasn't feeling well, but she insisted on going to school because it was pajama day, and that's the best day in kindergarten. So I go to pick her up, and as soon as she sees me, she just bolts it straight to me, and as soon as she gets to me, she is full-blown in tears. I don't feel good, Mom! Oh my God. She was 6, and I'm just like emotional about it. I felt so terrible. But she lasted the whole day, got her pajama day, and then stayed home for the rest of the week.
Oh, poor baby.
And infected her entire class.
Yeah, probably us too. I don't remember, but yeah, exactly.
It was like 15 years ago. Calm down.
Yeah, who cares?
10.
Yeah, 10 years. So anyway, Luke carefully releases Clary, telling her that he was attacked and still slightly injured. So I guess it must be a really bad injury if he hasn't healed yet.
Right.
So he starts kind of checking her out to see if she's okay, when a creepy voice comes up behind them, and he's like, well, this is touching. Wait, it's not super creepy. Anyway.
That sounds like you're trying to be sexy.
This is a touching scene.
Yeah, I typoed too, so it doesn't help. Anyway, so the man is like, I thought you might have been here. I thought you might have been behind this invasion. And Luke was like, bro, invasion? I think not. That was Valentine. We're just here to help you out, man. And we find out that this is the consul. And this motherfucker.
Which is Malachi.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. This motherfucker is like, we don't need help from Downworlders. You're breaking the law just by being here. And Luke is like, I think you're wrong, my friend. You most certainly do need our help. And I'm just wondering how did Luke actually know that something was going to go down? Like, how did he actually know? Go get these people. They need to come into the city. Like, he left right after they got there, and he just immediately knew something terrible was going to happen. I don't know.
Well, the Clave was calling an all active member Clave meeting. And so I think he knows Valentine. I mean, he was his parabatai. So he knows Valentine so well that he's like, well, of course he's going to strike when they're all in one place.
Mm-hmm. That's fair.
What I don't understand is how Clary did not put 2 and 2 together with the fucking wolves. Yeah. Luke went into Brosslin Forest like 3 days ago.
Yeah.
You're not putting 2 and 2 together with this giant thing, like this pack of wolves. You're not going, I wonder if Luke had something to do with this.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, game on. Luke goes on to explain that he brought all the person/wolves there to prove a point. To defeat Valentine, Shadowhunters will need help from Downworlders. That's just how it is. And Malachi disagrees, saying that Shadowhunters will fight their own battles and don't need no stinking help from nobody.
Okay. And that's why there's the lowest amount of you ever.
Yeah.
That's why you're dying out.
Right. You're a dying breed for this particular reason.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He's just smart, and he knows
something's going down.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He can smell trouble.
I have a question, though, about that. Is that when... I know we talked about what happened to Luke's marks when he...
What we think happened to it, yeah.
Was changed. So does that mean that the Parabatai rune is just not, it doesn't work anymore? Or maybe he has some feeling or something that something's just going to happen from it, but I doubt it's left over.
He would, well,
then you'd think he'd know.
But Luke and Jocelyn always knew that Valentine was still alive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They knew. Yeah.
Yeah.
But maybe that's why.
Maybe.
Like
they never talk to it. Like we never find out about it. Like, but I wouldn't doubt it if there was something.
I feel like that is a top like Cassandra Clare question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mark this.
What happens when Shadowhunters get turned to Downworlders? What happens to their marks? I want to know.
Yep.
Maybe I should research it. Maybe there's something on the internet.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you want to do mine later?
No, I think because you can probably do it in like 10, right?
Yeah.
10, 15.
Yeah.
Because I tell them I'll be there by 5:15. If I'm there at 5:30, I think it's fine.
Okay. Clary carpe diems her life and uses a kerfuffle to get Magnus to break away and come and talk to her. Magnus looks at her sideways, but is like, okay, lead the way, Biscuit. The crowd parts for them because, as we all know, Magnus has a presence.
Yes,
and they make their way into a hushed corner, and Clary tells him that she was able to get the book. And she takes it out of her pocket, which I want to know how big this book is.
Yes.
Like, all I can picture is, like, a pocket thesaurus. And I'm assuming that's not right, you know?
Yeah.
But we all know that girls' pockets aren't deep. I mean, unless Clary is still in gear, and maybe gear pockets are deep regardless of, like, the gender assigned to their pants.
I thought she was wearing her coat.
Yeah, it's a jacket.
But how big is a jacket pocket for,
I
like,
can
a book?
fit my wallet in a jacket pocket, which is like a checkbook wallet.
I'm
But
thinking
a book.
Like, the Book of the White has to be, like, the size of, like, City of Glass.
At least, I would think.
No, I think it's a spell book. Because it was inside another book.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, like a pocket
That's fair.
thesaurus.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's like a small spell book.
Okay.
But I think she's wearing her velvet coat.
I think she is too. I was just assuming that the
funny.
book would be too big for the velvet coat pocket.
She probably is, but I'm imagining her in like a rain jacket for some reason. Just like because of all the shit they've been through.
She's wearing a parka.
Yeah.
No, with like a yellow, like, slick.
Yes.
Anyway, as Christian would say, that's neither here nor there. Clary tells Magnus about how they were able to find the book exactly where he said it would be, but she leaves out the part about Ithuriel. She hands the book over, and he immediately starts to flip through the pages, and Magnus gets all giddy, saying that the book is even better than he heard it was, and he can't wait to get started. So, I'm going to preface this by saying I have not read The Lost Book of the White. So, this is probably why I have the questions, but I'm going to ask them anyway. What do you suppose is in there that he's so excited to use? I suppose I've kind of boxed him in as a Shadowhunter sidekick character because that's how he's been used in these books so far, which he's obviously a super powerful warlock. Like, he's the High Warlock of Brooklyn. But I don't get, like, weird hungry for power vibes from him. So I wonder if he has a client that needs something, or, like, what else? Like, what can you get out of this book that you haven't been doing? What do you need, girl?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, as far as we know, it's one of the most powerful spell books. So it has some of the most powerful spells in it that you wouldn't be able to find anywhere else. So I think that's just it's almost like getting a book on script writing if you're a writer, like, but something that's not like there's only one of them. And so finding something like rare and like useful to your
Gotcha.
job.
Okay.
Like
if you found a super special mattress ordering book, only you could have.
Right.
How to purchase order like a pro.
Yeah.
So Clary sort of sternly reminds him about the promise he made about Jocelyn, like she comes first. And he assures her that he is a man of his word and he'll get it done. Clary tries to ask him about Simon, but because she wanted Magnus to break Simon out of the guard before she gave him the book. Remember?
Right,
like that
yep.
was going to be part of the trade. But before she can do that, she's interrupted by Sebastian.
Yeah.
Who is standing in gear but looked untouched by battle apart from some scratches on his face. And Sebastian says that he was worried about her because he went to check on her amethysts and she wasn't there. And he didn't know where Clary had gone to. And she tells him that she's obviously fine. Duh.
See, I'm here.
I'm here. So Sebastian notices the Book of the White clutched in Magnus's hands while Clary reaches up to touch his scratches, blood still oozing from them, which is a weird fucking thing to do. It just is.
It is.
Okay, don't do that. He tells her that a she-demon got near him near the Penhallows. 'Tis but a scratch, which I love. She-demon. That's me. Refer to me as is she-demon.
Done. Not gonna call you a bitch anymore. It's a she demon.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Love it.
Sebastian asks what the heck is going on. And I just want to be like, none, ya bitch.
Yep.
But Clary says that she was talking to Maragner. He's like, Maragner? Okay, what's that? As he's like pointing and staring at the book. And Clary is mentally willing Magnus to put the book away. Yeah. And like, bro, honestly, same.
Yeah. Matonly.
That's what I wrote.
Sorry.
Metanelli. Mm-hmm. Anyway, I'm the same. Like, put the fucking thing away, dude.
Yep.
Yeah.
100%. Put it away. Sheath, if you will.
Yeah. Sheath it.
So Magnus tells him it's a spell book. Like, duh. Anyway, nothing that would be of interest to a Shadowhunter. But Sebastian's like, my auntie collects spell books, and I'd like to see it.
My mom collected spoons. I don't need to see every spoon, bro.
Out of here.
Yeah.
Okay, so this felt weird to me.
Mm-hmm.
Because Magnus is in a room full of Shadowhunters, and the Book of the White is a very, like, well-known
It's, like, coveted, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And so, like, he would know that he should put that away. And you would think with his experience, and he's lived among Shadowhunters forever, that he would do that.
500 and 800 years.
At some point. And he's just standing there thumbing through it right in public.
It's weird. That's why I'm like, dude, what are you doing, bro?
Yeah. I think that it was on purpose.
You think Magnus is doing it on purpose?
I think Magnus wanted Sebastian to see it because he's been suspicious of Sebastian from the jump. Okay. He was like, I don't like this guy. And so I think he wanted to see how he would react.
Okay.
Because otherwise, why the hell would Magnus hold the book up against his chest like that?
That's weird.
Right?
Yep.
That's a weird thing to do.
Mm-hmm. I like your theory, your hypothesis.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. I couldn't figure out where I was. Before anything can happen, Alec interrupts. And he's like, WTF, mate? You were supposed to stay with Izzy. And Sebastian tells Alec that his parents showed up and are on it. They told him to go to the hall and tell Alec not to worry. And Jason's like, good job coming to find us, shit for brains.
Okay. But doesn't Sebastian say that they're on their way?
Yeah.
Okay. But Sebastian just said that he went all the way to Amatis's house to check to see where Clary was. Mm-hmm. So how long is it going to take the Lightwoods to get to the guard? Or to the courts hall from the Penhallows?
Oh, right.
If he went all the way out, because the Penhallows live in the rich district, which is going to be closer to the city center, which is going to be closer to the Hall of Courts and the guard, right?
Yeah.
And Amatis lives out
in the outskirts.
In the outskirts, still within city limits, but she lives further out.
Yeah,
so if he went all the way there and then came to the courts hall, where are the Lightwoods? Shit don't add up, buddy.
Yeah. It smells in here, and it's you. Your story.
Shit for brains.
Shit for brains. Sebastian's like, I didn't see you, but I saw Clary, and I need to talk to her. Alone. Clary agrees to go with him, but not completely outside, stopping in the midst of the fray, telling him to stop dragging her. And he's like, I'll tell you, once you get in my van with the blacked out windows.
There's candy in there.
And Clary says no dice, and he can talk to her here, or he can fuck right off. Mm-hmm. So he breaks down, and he's like, okay, well, I just thought that you should let me know where that book Fel was holding came from. And she's like, all of this drama for that? He tells her that she just doesn't understand. It's like uber powerful. And a lot of people have been looking for it for like a really long time. So then stupid ass fucking Clary tells him about how Fel is actually Bane and yada, yada, yada.
God.
Sebastian loses his freaking mind and grabs her, exclaiming that he can't believe that she would give that book to, quote, a warlock, a filthy downworlder.
Whoa.
We're about to box, this guy and I. Square up, Sebastian, you worm. And Clary's like, what the hell is wrong with you? I can't believe you would say that. Magnus is my friend. And Sebastian tries to do like this 180 thing, but it's not working this time. Saying that he shouldn't have gone off on his racist tirade. Roseanne. But he just, I mean, how long have you known this guy? And Clary tells him longer than you, so what? She glances back at Magnus and he's gone. Jason and Alec were staring after her. And Sebastian balks. And he's like, oh, really? Do you know him well enough to figure out where he took your little bookie book?
Okay. Before this, when Sebastian is leading Clary away. She looks back at Magnus, and Magnus, like, shakes his head. He's like, there's something. So I think that proves my hypothesis.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, so when she turned back, though, and Magnus was gone, how much of you kind of was like, is he going to do what he said?
I think I never doubted.
Okay. I did a little bit. I was nervous for her a little bit. I was like, she did. I don't know. It just seemed too easy.
Yeah.
They got the book and they gave it to Magnus. Like, obviously they had all of that encounter, but that whole thing seemed so easy. I was nervous that something else was going to happen.
Right.
Yeah.
So Clary tells him, joke's on you, it's not mine, it's his, I gave it to him. Besides, this is none of your business. I appreciate your offer to help yesterday, but you're freaking me out, man. Deuces, bitch.
Dude, this is exactly what Izzy said.
Yep.
He starts to backpedal again, telling her that she just doesn't understand the whole picture. And she's like, okay, then paint it for me. And he's like, we've gone over this. First van, then story. She refuses to go with him and says that she's going to stay put and wait for Simon. Alex said that they would bring the prisoners here. And Sebastian's like, oh, wait, you don't know? They left them there to burn. Malachi said so.
So how long has he been here? He's already talked to Malachi and everything?
Yep.
Right.
Dude.
Right. His story don't add up.
Yeah.
None of it does. But obviously they're in it, not observing. So whatever. And Clary's taken aback, telling him, no, it can't be true. And he is like, no, it is. I can take you to the guard. I can help you get him out. But you have to promise me. And then he's cut off by Jace. Finally. I can't believe it took him that long, honestly.
Yeah.
I love this moment. She doesn't have to promise you shit, motherfucker.
Yep.
What?
That's my bitch.
So Jace appearing startled Sebastian, so he loosens his grip on her because he's still holding on to her. Ugh. And she's able to pull her wrist away. And Jace is standing with his hand on the hilt of a seraph blade. Hilt meaning the handle, like not a tube, right? Just
who knows?
Throwing it out there. Anyway, Sebastian tells him that Clary can do whatever she wants. And right now she wants to walk off into the cover of darkness alone with a guy that keeps physically assaulting her. That just called Magnus a filthy downworlder to go break out another filthy downworlder from prison. Obviously. And Jace says, quote, I don't like you. I know everyone else likes you, Sebastian, but I don't. Maybe it's that you work so hard to make people like you. Maybe I'm just a contrary bastard, but I don't like you, and I don't like the way you were grabbing at my sister. If she wants to go up to the guard and look for Simon, fine. She'll go with us, not you. Sebastian says, speak for yourself, but Clary chimes in that she agrees she will go with Jace. And Sebastian's like, of course you do. Like, what? Like, you've known them? Like, you've had 2 interactions. Right. To fuck off. Anyway, he gets out of the way. Like, he steps back.
Yeah.
Alec pushes Jace ahead of him, and Clary notices that her wrist is still hurting from where Sebastian had grabbed her, but there's, like, nothing there, like, not a mark or anything. Just blood on the sleeve of her velvet jacket from his face. She pushes the thought aside and heads towards the exit.
Okay, back to Simon. Next. That's where they're going, right?
Yeah.
To Simon. Boo.
Whatever.
Let's let him be, dude.
Just let him burn to death.
Okay, that's terrible.
So fucked up.
At least he wouldn't like the smoke inhalation would get him. Although I think that might be better.
He can't breathe.
That's what I'm saying. He's not going to die from smoke inhalation. I thought you said that he would. Okay. He's going to get actually burnt. Like, I feel like I'd rather. Well, I was watching this thing about being burned alive. And they're saying basically, like, once you, like, body gets so burnt, the nerves die, so it's not actually painful anymore.
Oh, that's terrible, dude.
And then you die from the smoke, not actually from the flames.
Oh, my gosh.
You know? No, thanks.
It was like witch trials and stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway.
No, thanks.
I'm glad I can leave you with this last thought.
Yeah.
And now a final thought. Right? Make sure that you've read chapter 12. De Profund Bata.
Very good.
I don't know what it says. It looks like a Harry Potter charm. Profundus.
Yeah. De Profundus.
Yeah.
For next week's episode.
That's great. For behind the scenes content and the latest updates, check us out on Instagram at Downworlder Podcast. We'll see you next time.
Bye.